Hey, Algebra 2, it's Coach Scott. Nice of you to come and visit me today. Today we're going to write some piecewise functions. So it's going to be basically the reverse of what you did on Tuesday. I'm going to give you the graph. You're going to give me the equation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what some of the Delta Math problems look like, how to create the equations that go with those graphs, and basically kind of how to type it into the Delta Math. One thing you're going to need to be able to do is write an equation in y equals mx plus b form. The m is going to be the slope of the line, and the b is the y-intercept. Now the slope is going to be existent on each one of the lines, but the y-intercept we're probably going to have to find ourselves by extending the existing line. Okay? So why don't we just go right and jump into this. Alright, so here we have a Delta Math problem. I'll scoot in and kind of make sure that this is focused for you. Let me see if I can autofocus that a little bit better. Okay, that should be a little bit better. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to focus on this equation right here. And that's going to be our answer that we put in this top blank. Alright, so we are looking for a y equals mx plus b equation for that yellow highlighted curve. So what you want to do, let's see if I can zoom in real good here, is find a couple of points. So we have the circle, we have the open circle here, but then it appears that there's another point right there. And so if we use our rise over run to get from the open circle, up to this point, then what we're doing is we're going up 1. Let's see, slope. We're going to go up 1, and we're going to go left 2. So that left becomes a negative value. So we have a negative sloped line. And that is a majority of what we're searching for in this line. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add in here negative half x, because that is, that is the slope of the line. And remember, we're looking for a y equals mx plus b line. Now, we're going to have to, like this line right here does not get to the y-axis. So we have to make it get to the y-axis. So if we extend this line using the slope that we just created, then we would hit the y-axis right there. So what is that value? That value is a 1. So that is what our b is for that equation. So the equation of this line right here is y equals negative 1/2 x plus 1. And so that's what I've got typed into the Delta Math down here. Now, what is the domain? The next question we got to fill in here is, where does this line exist? Well, it appears that this value right here, we're looking for the x value of that number. And so if you travel down, you'll notice that the x value is a negative 2. So down here we've got negative 2. And so the x values, are they less than negative 2? In other words, does this graph exist left of negative 2, or does it exist to the right of negative 2? Since it exists to the left of negative 2, that is less than. Now, is that circle open or closed? Since it is open, we will leave the inequality as just less than. So if it were closed, then we would make it equal to. But that's done. That is the piecewise part of this function for the yellow highlighted curve. Next up, we'll do this orange highlighted one. So I'm not going to highlight down there because I think it'll be too dark. All right, so we need the slope of that line. And so if we start here, if we start right there and we move up to another good point, looks like there's a good point on the x-axis right there, we will find that the slope of this rises 2 and runs 1. So up 2, right 1 gives us a slope of 2. So we can come down, we can write 2x as our mx of this equation. Now, tough part here is going to be kind of extending this line. So I don't see that I have a ruler. All right, so we're going to use the slope. We're going to come down 1, 2. We're just going to keep doing this slope. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And so I've kind of run out of graph. But, so here we are at 10. If we go down 2 more and over 1 more, you'll see that we're going to hit this at -12. So from 10, we have to go down 2 more and left 1. So since we're going down 2, that's going to get us down to -12. So we'll put -12 into our delta math here. Now for the orange part, what is the domain that it exists for? So where does this graph start on the x-axis? Well, that starts at 5. So now are the values greater than 5 or are they less than 5? Well, here, since the orange part of the graph is to the right of 5, that's greater. So x is greater than 5. Now, since it's an open circle, we will leave it as just greater than. Now, underneath this, you have all the options of less than, greater than, less than equal to, greater than equal to, equals, not equals. So if you did the Tuesday graphing, you would have seen that some of the equations, some of the rules have an equal or a not equal to. Okay, so that's a couple of things to look for down there at the bottom. So as you're typing it in, you can just click on whichever inequality or equal sign you want that will fit into the rule that you want to create. All right, let's try another one. All right, this equation looks a lot like our last one, but it's a little bit different. So we're looking for another point. So what is the slope between those 2 points? If I rise 1 and go left 1, then that slope is -1. If I continue that equation, where do we land? We land at 0. So that gives us the equation y equals -x plus 0, which you can just call -x. All right, so let's talk about where this exists. So this is the first point. Where does it start off at? It starts off at -3. And where are these points? Are they to the left? Or are they to the right? Well, it looks like the graph is to the left, which makes it less than. And is this open or closed? That's a closed point, which gives us an equal to bar, so that the domain is the domain is x is less than or equal to -3 because of the closed circle. So that's that top equation. All right, so as we do this one now, this is a horizontal line. When we have a horizontal line, it's just going to be a number. So in other words, it's going to be the y value that is right here. So it's just 2. There's no x value, there's no x associated with that number. this is a horizontal line, it doesn't have a slope. It only has a y-intercept. That y-intercept, had we extended it back to the left, would have landed at 2. So that's the 2 that we type into the delta math. So where does this exist? So we take the open circle that they gave us, we come down to the x-axis, and it starts at positive 3. Is it greater than 3 or less than 3? Well, it's greater. It's not equal to because of the open circle. We put the x in, and that's the rule. That's the equation that you're trying to come up with for this graph. And if you need to, guys, don't forget, they have these help videos that you can click on that will take you through the problem, okay? All right, so I think I've got one more for you. No, I've got two more for you. So this is a level 2 problem. So let's check this out. So this line goes everywhere. If you'll notice, this line goes up forever, it goes down forever. And it only exists, or only doesn't exist, right there. So x doesn't exist. It does not exist right there. So let's come up with the equation of the line. Let's check out the slope. We know that it goes kind of through that point, and if you look closely, there's a good point right there on the y-axis. So let's find the slope between these 2 points. So it's up 1, 2, 3, 1. So this has a slope of 3. Where does it hit the y-axis? Well, that was pretty simple. It gave it to us. The b for this equation is negative 3. So the equation, 3x minus 3. Now this is one of those times where you're going to use the not equal sign. So our restriction for this, x, will not equal, well, what is the x value? It's right there at 1. So we'll put x is not equal to 1. Which brings us to that dot. And it's just a dot. So think of it as an ordered pair. What is its ordered pair? It's 1, 1. So what we have here, and this is going to be, you're going to write this backwards, and it's not going to seem backwards because of the nature of the problem, but the x value goes down here on the right hand side of the problem, so that's going to be a 1, and the y value, because f of x stands for 1, f of x stands for y, will be 1. So that's the dot. Okay, so when you have just a dot, you're going to use, and in this is the case where you'll use the equal sign. Okay, so if you just have an ordered pair, the ordered pair is 1, 1. The x value, this is its x value, goes here. This is the x. Let's get a different color. Not use y, but we'll see it. I mean, there we go. This is the y value. The y value goes right there. So the x value's here, the y value's here. Now don't put y into the delta math, okay? I'm just telling you where that goes. So the y goes here, the x goes there. Hit the submit button. That should be the correct answer for that problem. All right, last one. This is a level 2 as well, but it's probably a little bit more like the level 1 problems that we did at first. All right, this is horizontal. Okay, which means it's just going to be the number 2. So 2. Let's highlight this. And where does it exist? So we come down, the x value is at negative 4. it's less than, and it's equal to because of the closed circle. This is a closed circle, so it's equal to as well. So that'll be a less than and equal to. So that part's done. Let's check out this now. We'll see how this works. I need a slope. So it appears there's another good point right there. So that slope is 1. If we were to back this problem up, where would it cross the x-axis? So I need a b. Sorry, where would it cross the y-axis? So boom, 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 -4. So -4 is going to be its y-axis point, the b. So we have 1x minus 4 as the equation. Now we have to figure out its domain restriction. Right there is where the problem starts. That looks like it's 5. Is it greater than or less than 5? It is greater. It's also equal because of the closed circle. So it'll be greater than or equal to. And put your X there. Hit submit. Get a big green check. You're good to go. So if you're having issues understanding, please ask a question. Also, don't forget, you have the opportunity to watch a help video. So please take advantage of that. You do have 10 Delta math problems, 5 in each section, very much like you had on Tuesday. Please reach out to me and ask questions if you need it. You guys have a good day.